Hispanics are one of the groups least likely to invest in the most basic entry to the American financial mainstream, a bank account. Many households don't have a bank account because they don't have enough money to keep in an account, or they think that account fees are too high and too unpredictable, or they just simply don't trust banks. I'm Kevin Muñoz, this is the Layup Podcast, and today is Monday, October 5th. With me today, I have my lovely sister, Nora Muñoz, and tell them why I asked you to be on here today.
Because I'm cool.
No, let's try this again.
All right. Well, I work at a bank and I'm a service manager. I've been working in the bank industry for 4 years.
All right, awesome. So tell us a bit about what is a bank.
So a bank is technically a place to keep your money at. It's with a bank you can do a lot of things. You can make deposits, you can take out loans, you can cash your checks and things like that.
Awesome. And one of the important questions I want to ask you is, for other people listening out there, can immigrants open a bank account in the United States? And if so, what is needed?
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good question. So a lot of people think that just because you are an immigrant, you're not able to open accounts. That's not true. You can open bank accounts. It really does depend on the bank, though. You have to check with each different bank if they do accept that. But the bank I work at, they do open account for immigrants. All you have to have is your IT number, and that is the number that you use when you do your taxes. If you don't have that, then that's also fine. We would just need 2 forms of ID from you.
Okay, and what type of IDs could they have?
So you can have the main one that a lot of people bring is the passport. So from your country, passport from your country, like an ID, like a different kind of ID from your country, a driver license from your country, that would also work. Some ID requirements are different from bank to bank and credit unions, so it's a good idea to call ahead or stop by a branch location to find out what type of documents you need to open your bank account. So it does vary from bank to bank.
Okay, awesome. So why do you think it's important to open a bank account if you're undocumented? Or just in general?
Yeah, it's very important to open to have an account at least, but basically it's for personal safety, and also your money is insured up to $250,000, and you're carrying less money around in the streets. So there has been facts that a lot of immigrants are targeted, and the minority, because a lot of people know that they carry money around in their pockets. So it's very important that you do have a safe place to keep your money at, and you're not just carrying cash, no matter where you go. So just for your safety in general, that's a big thing. Also, if you have if you at your job, you can also have the advantage of having direct deposit into your accounts. So you wouldn't have to come and cash your check or even go through the troubles of depositing a check. You would just have it right in there the week that it's your pay week. You can save money as well, so it's a good way of saving money. So if you're planning, if you have future plans, future goals, it's a good way to save your money. If you have a checking account or a savings account, it would be ideal for you to keep track of what you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so another good reason would be for budgeting purposes. So you can so the bank allows you to get statements. So either you prefer to get them mailed to your home, they can do that, or you can also just view them online. Right now, online is a big thing. So a lot of banks like Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, all those banks are aiming more towards online banking. So everything pretty much you have access to online, so from home. So it's also a good way to review your monthly spending and even though recurring or unnecessary expenses.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can also, like, if, for example, Wells Fargo is one of the banks that if you have an account with them and you have a good relationship with them, like meaning you keep a good balance in your account, you're able to maintain your accounts, then you're able to cash your check. So it doesn't matter what bank it's from. If you have a good relationship, then they will cash the check for you, no matter what the amount is or what bank is made from.
Okay, cool. And you mentioned check cashing there at the end. I know a lot of Hispanics use check cashing stores as an alternative to banks because they just don't have a bank account, or they think that the fees might be higher. So why are banks a better option?
So banks are a better option because a lot of times, and it's a bank is not for everyone, but it's definitely, like, if you can, it's a good option. Obviously, when you do open an account, you do have to go to a certain risk screening. So what that is pretty much just having a good record overall, not owning any banks, anything. But definitely, if you want to cash a check, a lot of people think that going to a check cashing place is the best option, and it's really not, because check cashing places, they take a certain percentage of your check, versus if you go to a bank, they only take a fee if you're not a customer. But if you bank with that bank, they'll typically allow you to deposit the check, and more than likely it'll clear right away or the next day without any fees. So that's a good way also to save yourself some money.
Okay, awesome. And what are some banks that you recommend out there?
So there's Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. Those are all very big banks. Definitely, these are big banks that they're everywhere. So versus a credit union bank where it's just local. These banks, these three banks, these are all over the world, all over the United States. So if you were to travel, you can find them anywhere. It's a good idea to look at other institutions as well, like Latino credit unions. They go out of their way to make process smoother for immigrants. Some even offer loans, again, like we said before, to help members cover the costs of deferred actions or nationalization application.
Okay, awesome. Anything else that you'd like to add, Nora?
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of immigrants, Latinos, are very, skeptical or even scared to open an account. And, a lot of their goals are just to come here, make their money, and go back to their country. But you got to really think about, the different things that also play, while you're here. In the meantime, there's things, like bills that you have to pay and rent. So having a bank account, it's important, especially, if you want to save here, or even if you're a younger Latino and who knows, you want to start your life here, you definitely want to have some kind of place where you're saving your money, and you're learning how to budget. And also, you got to keep in mind that banks are not only just for deposit or cash. You can also start building your credit through banks. So don't be scared, to walk into a bank and ask, does someone speak Spanish? Because believe it or not, there's a lot of people that speak Spanish. You just can't be scared. You just have to walk in there and go for it and ask, how can I open an account, or how can I do this? And a lot of us are willing to help. A lot of people are willing to help you. Most of us are willing to help and explain to you what you need in order to establish a relationship with a bank. But that's pretty much it. Don't be scared and just go for it.
Wow, that's some great advice. I didn't know you had it in you, Nora. Never seen this side to you.
You are a bully.
Well, thanks for coming on. And anything Kylene wants to say to everyone?
Okay.
Say bye.
Bye.
And what's your name?
Kylene.
And who are you? A few key takeaways from today's episode. Having a bank account can make it easier to manage your money. You can use bank statements to review your monthly spendings and even note recurring or unnecessary expenses. You can take advantage of the bank's direct depositing of checks from work, which means that you don't have to use a check cashing store. Banks make their money by charging interest on loans. The money you hold at most banks is insured up to $250,000, and you're also carrying less cash around, making you less likely to be targeted by thieves. And most importantly, banks help undocumented immigrants build a financial footprint and establish a financial history. If you want to support me and the podcast, just follow my Instagram at LatinAmericaneo. And if you have any questions or want to know more in detail about what was covered in the podcast, you can find more info on my website, latinamericaneo.org. That's LatinAmericaneo.org. I'd like to thank my sister Nora for agreeing to do this interview with me, and my lovely girlfriend Mariah for doing an amazing illustration for the Leo podcast episodes. If you'd like to check it out, it's on my Instagram, and I'll also have it up on my website. She did such a good job capturing me, my setup, and even my dog Paloma. That's all for today. I'm Kevin Muñoz, and I'll see you next time.